What's up, everybody? My name is Brian. I'm a small business owner, a real estate investor, and an avid side hustler. Welcome to my channel and my grocery store. So everyone on the internet is talking about investing these days, from real estate to cryptocurrency to the stock market. And they aren't wrong. We should definitely all be investing for our future. I think it's a safe assumption that Social Security will not be enough for anyone. That is, if it's even still around by the time we need it. But one thing that seems to be glossed over or even completely ignored by most financial gurus on the internet is your emergency fund. What is an emergency fund? It's a large sum of money that's liquid, and that means easily accessible, and it's usually between 3 and 6 months worth of living expenses. And just as the name suggests, it's for emergency use only. Like a medical emergency that keeps you from working, or even a job loss. Being unable to work or losing your job, that's a stressful enough situation anyway. The last thing you need is the additional stress of trying to figure out how to pay your bills. Having a nice cash cushion at the ready will make life much less stressful, and also put you in a situation to take advantage of opportunities that might otherwise have seemed too risky, like taking a job that you love, even if the pay isn't as much, or starting a business, or investing. Okay, real talk. If you want to invest, and you should, first, you have to have an emergency fund in place. So in this video, we're gonna look at the 2 ways to build your emergency fund fast so that you can get onto the investing phase. Here we go. So accumulating cash takes discipline and a few sacrifices, but trust me, you can do it, and it is absolutely worth it. The amount that you can acquire and the speed with which you can do it depends on a lot of factors. Now, the following steps will work no matter your income level, no matter your debt situation, but the results are gonna vary greatly based on your situation. Now, our first step is determining how much cash you need. The standard emergency fund is 3 to 6 months. I think 6 months is best, but you may think 12 months is best. It's totally up to you. Look at your situation and decide how much cash you would need to be comfortable in case you lose your job. Now, in an emergency situation, you're probably not going to be going on vacation. You're probably not going out to eat or going to the movies. So we really only need to account for fixed expenses. That would really be things like rent or mortgage, your groceries, your utilities, maybe your debts that report to the credit agencies, really just the basic necessities. Most of us will need somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000-ish, give or take. So now let's talk about how to accumulate the cash as fast as possible. There are only 2 ways to accumulate cash. Number 1, reduce the outgoing. Number 2, increase the incoming. And we'll touch on both of those in this video because getting there as fast as possible will require implementing both strategies. Let's tackle the hard one first. Reduce the outgoing. Trim the fat, pinch the pennies, cut the spending. First off, do you track your spending? If you do, this next part will be a little bit easier. If you don't, it's going to be slightly more difficult because you have to know what you're spending to know what you can cut. So if you don't track your spending going forward, that's something you should probably make a priority. There are a ton of apps out there that can help you do it. So that's gonna be a topic for another video. So if you have an app that you like, or if you find one that you like, let me know in the comments below so I can take a look at those. Okay, so first let's separate your expenses into 2 categories: necessities and non-necessities. Necessity items are safe from this first round of cuts. They include things like your mortgage or your rent, your utilities, your car note, grocery store food, fixed debt, like bills that affect your credit rating. Now, if we can't find the funds that we need in other areas of your budget, we may have to come back and take a look at these items too, because I assure you, there is some wiggle room even in these. Now for the non-necessity items. And these are things that are, well, not necessities. These are things we can cut. This includes things like dining out or entertainment or shopping or any other expenses that aren't required to maintain a basic level of existence here on planet Earth. So again, if you haven't been tracking your spending, you'll either need to estimate what you spend in these areas, or you'll need to track for a couple of months so that you'll have an idea of what you can cut. Okay, so here's the tough part. All non-necessity items, all of them, every single one, they're on the chopping block. They're gone. Cut them out immediately. Now, I seriously recommend an open line of communication with those closest to you, especially if you have a spouse or a significant other. You guys have got to be on the same page, and everyone needs to agree and understand that things are going to be a little bit different for a short while. That means no more restaurants, no more vacations, no more non-necessity spending, at least until we hit our goal. Have you ever wondered why almost all financial gurus pick on your morning coffee or your morning latte and you're dining out? Well, there's a huge reason why. According to the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics, in 2019, the average family spent $3,365 on dining out. That line item alone would be 34% of a $10,000 goal. And that's just one line item. Entertainment accounted for another $3,050. Just those two non-necessity items put together is over 60% of a $10,000 budget in just 12 months. Now, I recognize that A, these are averages, and they may not represent your situation at all. You may very well spend less, you may very well spend more. And also B, it is not realistic to imagine that you could cut 100% of those expenses for an entire year. Things will come up. You will have to go out to eat with someone. You will have expenses in that non-necessity category over a year's time. Just know that every time you have an expense in that category, it sets you back a little bit further from hitting your goal. So do your best to limit those non-necessity expenses. And I'm definitely not saying that we have to cut all of these expenses for forever. But in order to get to our goal emergency fund, we just have to make some sacrifices in the short term. Okay, so now that we've made all those budget cuts, it's time to open a separate savings account if you haven't already. Oh yeah, and when you open your savings, do not get a debit card or an ATM card associated with that account. It needs to be difficult to access this money. Because let's be honest, if it's not difficult to access, the chances of us spending it are much higher. Next, let's determine how much cash you need just to cover your necessity items between now and next payday. Any amount of money in your checking account that is above and beyond what you need for those necessities, let's go ahead and take it out of your checking right now, deposit it into your new savings account. That way you won't spend it. And then going forward, every payday, keep what you need for necessities in your checking, move everything else into savings. Just get it out of the way so that you're not looking at it, so that it's not accessible. Doing this is going to help eliminate the temptation to spend it. Don't trust yourself. Just move it over into the savings account, out of sight, out of mind. Trust me on this. Now let's talk about increasing the incoming. There are a few ways to make that happen. Number one, a pay increase. So that raise at work that you think you deserve, ask for it. Assuming you actually deserve it, that is. If you aren't the best part of the team that you can be, this may not be a great idea. No employer appreciates a weak employee asking for more money. Earn it first, then ask for it. And if they aren't willing to pay you what your work is worth, maybe it's time to dust off that resume and look elsewhere. Number two, sell some stuff. We all have things laying around the house that we don't need. Dig them out, clean them, fix them, whatever you need to do, and list it online. For some of you, this step alone could probably get you to your goal if you're willing to let go of your stuff. And number three, take on a part-time job or a side hustle. Rake, mow yards, walk dogs, pressure wash driveways, whatever you need to do to earn a few extra bucks. Don't be lazy, put in the work, earn some extra cash. In short, just increase your income in any way possible, within legal, ethical, and moral boundaries, of course. And remember, these changes don't have to be for forever. We're just trying to hit a goal. Now, once you hit your goal, your emergency fund needs to remain accessible. So don't get it tied up into anything that makes it hard to get to, or anything that charges penalties to get the money out. You should talk to a financial advisor to get personalized advice, because everyone's situation is different, and I don't know you or your situation. But for me, I think a high yield savings account or a money market account are probably the best places, at least for me, to keep my emergency fund. Okay, so now that we've hit our goal and we have our emergency fund, it is time to start investing. If you're able to maintain the same level of savings, by all means, keep it up. Retirement is gonna be expensive, and Social Security will probably not be something you should count on. The more money you can sock away now, the better life is gonna be during your retirement years. Guys, it's not complicated, and there is no secret sauce. It's just good old-fashioned sacrifice and discipline and hard work. But I know that you have it in you to get it done. All it takes is a decision. Now, decide and do. Guys, thank you for your time today, and I hope you found value in this video. And if you did, do me a favor. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, tap that notification bell. Please. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.